When you create a new Ruby on Rails application, it comes shipped with Kamal. Kamal is a deployment utility that allows you to deploy your code to production. And it's one that I've covered many times in the past, but one aspect that I haven't covered is the secrets. So we have our standard, typical Kamal registry password, and that's pulling from our environment variable that we already have set up on this computer. And then we also have the Rails master key, which is getting from the config master.key. But in this episode, I don't want to rely on having my computer store that environment variable for the Kamal registry password, nor for the Rails master key. Instead, we're going to be looking at using a password manager. And there's a lot of benefits for this, where it's easier to share passwords amongst teammates, or it could be something that you're already using. But it's a much more secure place to store your password than in a .dot file, where it's going to get the registry password, or in plain text, because if your computer is ever compromised, whether you left it unattended and it was unlocked, or a malicious program was reading your .dot files or searching for that master key, then your site could become compromised. However, putting them in a password manager does add a layer of security. However, it does have some complications if you are using a CI/CD pipeline to deploy the application through Kamal, so we're not going to be looking at that in this episode, because often when you are working with a password manager, there's usually some kind of user interaction required. So in this episode, we're going to be looking at implementations of Bitwarden, and then also 1Password. I'm not recommending either of these. I think you should do your due diligence and find what's going to work best for you or your team, but these two are ones that I'm familiar with. To watch this full episode and more videos, visit driftingruby.com and subscribe to the Pro membership.